I'm Miss Kim, the Art Link instructor at the Music Connection Conservatory of Music and Art. And today I will be teaching you about a value scale. We will be drawing from light to dark using graphite pencils, and we'll be drawing a simple shaped ball using a light source and seeing the shadows and seeing all the value. Let's begin. So here we're going to start our lesson for drawing with graphite pencils, a basic lesson on a value scale. So before I begin, I want to show you the product I bought. And if you're a student and wants to develop your drawing skills and sketching skills, I highly recommend buying this kit. It's Artist Loft is the brand. It's a 22-piece set meant for drawing and sketching. Set 101 is what you want to look up. I bought this through Michael's at $16.99 is the base price, but then I applied a coupon. So they have wonderful coupons to use at Michael's. I highly recommend doing that. And you can order it and have it shipped to your home, or you could do curbside pickup. Okay, so that is the product. Within that kit, this is what you get. Today we are specifically going to be working with the graphite pencils shown here, and they only offer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. They have numbers on them to label how hard the lead is within the pencil or how soft the lead is. So HB is like a number 2 pencil. It's equivalent to number 2 pencil. That's in the center. But to the left is 2H and 2H. Those are harder leads, so they're lighter. And then as you go past the HB to the right, 2B, 4B, and 6B are your leads that are softer. So as the number goes up, the softer your lead, the more color. The harder, the lighter. So we will be working with these in this kit. You have a pencil sharpener you may use if you need it. You also have like a little sanding thing here that you take the paper off and you take your pencil and you can rub to create the point or to make your pencil tip a little more blunt. A kneaded eraser we're going to be working with today, and this is a tortillon, and then a stump, so those are nice for blending. Everything else is also helpful for learning how to sketch and draw, but we won't be working with those today, but I certainly probably will be working with the charcoal and the chalks and stuff in the future, in the ink pen. So this is a good set to start with learning this kind of skill. Okay, so now let's look at what I have here. So we have 6 pencils we get from Artist Loft. I have used those, but obviously I have more than 6 here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pencils here. I bought a couple extras that weren't in the kit. So I believe they were, the 4H is one of them, and the, let's see, and the B. Everything else was in the kit, so 4H and B you may get if you need also separately. So what we are going to be doing is, within that kit you get this booklet, and it shows a value scale with graphite pencils. That's what we're working with today. So 6H is the lightest, and 8B is the darkest. So the center is HB. That's equivalent to, like I said, a number 2 pencil here. And then if you go up, it's hard as H. 2H is lighter. 4H is even lighter, and 6H is even lighter. You know, you're further going down light with hard lead in the pencil. B through 8B are hard leads that get darker and more rich and intense as you go up. And then as the number goes up, the softer the lead is, but the more rich the color is. Now your graphite pencils can go up to 9 on either end. That's more of if you're going more professional, you can buy some more pencils. They're really pretty reasonable, so if you want to, you can certainly have the whole set and learn how to work with all of them. But we're going to just do a basic value scale of 6H through 8B today. This booklet, it can be found in your Artist Loft kit, so if you decide to invest in it, it will be in there in some great helpful techniques, and talks about products and all the tools that are within the kit. and gives you some good advice with learning to sketch and draw, and you can practice these techniques and improve. So highly recommend it. Okay, so now let's start. Here are the pencils, like I said, and I kind of laid them out for you, sorry, like this on my mixed media pad I bought. I have a mixed media pad, or you can even use a piece of computer paper is fine, because it's about the same size, that's fine. And if you don't have graphite pencils today, a number 2 pencil will work fine. You're just gonna have to add more pressure. Lighter you go to the dark, more pressure, more and more. You're gonna get from light to dark is what we're trying to achieve. From a tone to, the tone of the colors, the shade is the dark and the tint is the light. So that's what you can do with using just a number 2 pencil if you don't want to invest in these pencils, which are reasonable. Okay, so here are the different graphite pencils in the kit and a kneaded eraser. It is something that you can knead literally like a clay almost, and it cleans up the space you're working with to erase with, so it's clean and you can erase, and it works great. When we highlight on this circle that will be the ball will be doing to create the highlight, you're literally lifting up the lead off the paper to create that brightness. And then here along this part of the ball is a reflective light, it's called, is the definition for that, and it's just lifting that lead off. So that's why you need a kneaded eraser. Okay, so here we go. Here are the pencils. I'm going to take them away and I'm going to set them off to the side in the order I have them here. And I just want to give you a quick tutorial on what to do, and then you can take your time in doing this project. What I did is, like I said, I have it in a mixed media pad. Mine is 9 by 12, so it's 12 inches long. What I did is I marked an inch in on either side so I could just fit the 8 spaces, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces, I'm sorry. So minus 2 of those, an inch here, an inch here is a 12, okay? Then what I'm gonna have you do is just basically, with a pencil, any pencil is fine, you can go ahead and trace around your ruler at this point that you stop it, and here, the 1 inch and 1 inch. And then from there, you will mark here and up here, all the way down every inch for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then up here again. And then you're gonna match those lines up, and I just simply did this to make your little boxes, because you're creating a value scale right now. So that's what you will do, and that would be using a ruler. Once you have your lines drawn out with all the little boxes, then you will, with your graphite pencils, in order, the first one I have with a hard is 4H. That's as far as I could go, so I just did a lighter pressure for 6H so I could show it here. So this is actually the 4H, and I just color it like this, and I then just went to the 6H and went a little lighter. Okay, then I just went up to the next number, 2H, for the hardness, and it goes a little darker. Just use the same pressure and it'll be darker. You go to the H, same thing, colored it in, and there is, it goes further, it just keeps getting darker. HB is just like a number 2 pencil, and again, I colored. So that's what I did with each one. So the next one's B, 2B, 4B, and then 6B. 6B is the highest on this kit. All I did was add a little more pressure to create the 8B. So you're going from a dark to the light, just like I have in the book that they provide for you in your kit. All right. So with that said, then I had some blending tools I have ready to show you. You may use a few things for blending. There is a paintbrush. There is a sponge applicator like for makeup, but you need one that is clean and brand new, a cotton swab or a Q-tip. This is called a stump. This is found in your art kit. It's a little bit smaller, and that's okay. And then there's a tortillon. These are all blending tools. Then you can also take a paper towel and fold it like I did here, and use the tip for blending like this. And you'll see the lead, but I don't want to do too much. I'm just giving you an idea. And then a piece of paper that's smooth, just a piece of computer paper folded, can act as a good way to blend as well. So those are some tools you can use. The kneaded eraser, like I said, is more lifting up of the graphite lead. Okay. Then there is this one, the Artist Loft. It's more for bigger, lots of erasing, bigger spaces, and not so much the little spots like that. So that's available too in your kit, but you can use it if you need to. Okay, so here is the paper. I used a coaster to draw my circle that I happen to have with whatever pencil all the way around to create your circle. Once the graphite pencil value scale is made, and then I labeled the letters underneath, then you know this is how it looks and how to work from this. I also labeled my page mate 2020 just so I keep a record of that in my spiral. You don't have to do this, but if you're studying art, this is a good way to start keeping track of these things in a spiral of a mixed media pad of all these different techniques and skills that you're learning. Okay, so I did the drew out the circle with a coaster. If you have a compass, you would mark it and then just go around and turn it to create the circle. You want a good circle. I do have a little foam ball as a little bit of a reference. You don't need that, but if you happen to have one, it helps, or a regular ball. And what you would do is set it somewhere where you can have a big difference in light, and your light source could be a sunlight, but in this case you want a good light bulb on it, so you create that light and then the shadow down below like I put here. Okay, so when you're doing your picture of your ball to create this value study of a shape, basic shape, then I labeled some parts of the shadowing of this ball. So here is a highlight, and I put kneaded eraser. That's where you create that once you color it in a little bit. Light is 6H to 2H, so 6H to 2H pencils are used here to create from the lightest 6H all the way into 2H to create the light, a mid-tone. And then shadow is HB through B pencil leads to create that shadow. And then we go to the core of shadow is 2B through 6B. You're just creating that shadow. It's kind of like a crescent. When you put the light on a ball, that's the effect it will have. And you want to use those pencils. And then reflective light is where you use the kneaded eraser to just create that reflective light. It reflects from the table, the light to the table to reflect back on the ball. And then the last one I labeled is cast shadow B, 8B. You have that. So here's a picture in an art book that I have of this exactly what I'm talking about here. Like I said, the highlight, the light, the shadow, core of shadow, reflected light, and cast shadow. These are all artistic words for labeling an object being drawn in a value study. Okay? So what I did was I took these pencils that I suggested, like the 6H or the 4. I started with the 4H and I just went real light and I just colored in on an angle all the way on the ball here, all the way around. Then I went to the next level, the 2H, and I colored around to create that light. And then I took the tortillon and I just blended. Oop, this one's kind of dirty. I'm going to go with the smaller one here. I just blend it around to blend in that lead. I am going to take this kneaded eraser and I just simply took away some of the lead to create that highlight, as you can see here, and I gently went around. You have to use a light touch, but you are creating that highlight, okay? So it's kind of lifting up the lead, as you can see. It's very subtle. And then you go into the other pencils, like I said, as you keep going darker and darker, as I got to like the darkest one, 6B, and then I made it darker with 8, and I just colored, like I said here, and I used this stump to just blend, like so. And it'll blend in real nice, and you can see it coming onto your tortillon, okay? So that is a basic study of value on a shape. A basic shape is a ball in a light source. The background I just did with H. That's the middle lead. And I just went ahead and went across and colored the background with that. It's a basic midpoint color for the background. So there you have it. Make sure you have a ruler to work with too on this project, and you can do this with other shapes like a cone or a box, a cereal box, as your study with your light source and your shadowing and using your value scale. So have fun with this, good luck, and remember, be happy and keep creating. Bye for now.